And now we're doing the magic of streaming. No, not screaming, streaming. Okay, let's see. Okay. Dark Souls Remastered, blah, 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 blah. We will delete that. Now, everybody's going to assume that I'm on an Xbox because they see X and B and Y and whatever the fuck. No, I'm on PC. Okay. That's the first fucking thing. But we're going to get into some Dark Souls. And I bought the remastered version, even though I own everything on the PS3. And I usually primarily play on the PS3 because the remastered version is for punks. So let's get into this here. So, brightness is fine. Brightness really doesn't affect gameplay. All that's fine. Whatever. I really don't care about any. Oh my fucking god! Quit asking me shit. And we got the spinning controller of doom. So, what's going on with the spinning controller of doom is, and you might run into this, is I have an old school Rock Candy PS3 controller from like 2004, and it's so old that sometimes it just randomly does this. If you have an old controller like this, it might do shit like that. So the first Dark Souls tip, or I guess you'd call it any video game tip, is to fix it. You just walk over your PC, unplug the controller, and plug it back in. That's how you fix 90% of everything. Okay. So, now let's figure out what the hell we're going to name our character. Was waiting for the menu pop up for PS3 and everything. You know, I can type at 2,396 words a minute on the PS3. Yeah, I can type at about, I want to say 20 words a minute on PC. So, we'll just name this guy Tutorial. I'm not doing this video for myself, I'm doing it for you guys. So, one of the first things I'm going to point out is armor does look different on female and male characters, and no, I'm not talking about just them titties, I'm talking about like things like the knee pads are in different places, the shoulders are different. There's a couple things. The male looks better in the thief armor. I don't really care for the pyromancy, whatever. Female looks better in some stuff too, so you can kind of figure out which one you like best. But we'll just go with the male, just because. So the warrior, high strength and dexterity. This guy is basic bitch. This is the basic bitch setup. This is the I don't know how to play the game and I should be punished for it. That's what this class is. It's not terrible, it's not unusable, but if you pick this, you're extremely basic, okay? This one is terrible, okay? Firstly, all the gear this dude is wearing, you can get within about the first 20 minutes of playing the game, alright? His stats are, very basic as well, so you're not gaining anything at all by picking the knight. In fact, I would argue that picking the knight is a player trap. Wanderer has high dexterity. I could understand why you would pick this character, and then the fact that he has, he's only at level 3 means you can kind of put stats where the hell you want. The Schmear is actually, a very underrated weapon, and mace, I mean the scimitar. His shield's alright, his shield's whatever. His armor is also kind of whatever. It's kind of average on that end. But, you know, his sword is good. His stat alignment is good. His level is low, which is actually a good thing. You got the Thief, which is... he's got a crappy weapon. He actually has slightly better armor than the Wanderer. Okay, and he... his armor actually looks pretty cool, too. His shield is actually really good if you're looking to just be parrying all the time. So there's that as well. Okay. And then you have the Bandit, which everybody likes for some reason because he has a poison shield, but that's stupid. And the reason why that's stupid is because you can get that shield within about, you know, the first 10 minutes of playing the game if you know how to. So, and then here's the other thing is his poison shield is just an inferior version of the crimson shield. Okay. Poison's really not that dangerous either. A poison shield's not going to save you. So, his stats are all over the place, and they're in weird places. There's not really a good balance. If you're gonna, you know, use that 14 strength, you're probably going to use at least 14 dexterity. So you're going to spend 5 whole ass levels trying to bring his dexterity up to basic just to be able to use weapons that are good. His armor is okay if you need resistance against lightning, but you can get his armor within the first 10 minutes of playing the game. So completely redundant. The Hunter is underrated because it's just a decent spread of stats. He comes with a bow. He comes with, you know, a sword, a shield. Okay, and then, so decent armor, decent equipment, decent stat lineup. This is like, if you don't know how to play the game, but you want to have the most versatility that you possibly can right out of the gate, this would be the class for you. And then Sorcerer has absolutely nothing to offer that Pyromancer can't do better. The only thing you get by picking a Sorcerer is you get 30 soul arrows, in addition to what you could just pick up in the very beginning of the game. Within the first 3 minutes of playing the game, you can get magic, okay? And you can get his kind of magic. The only difference is you're gonna have either 30 the basic arrow, the basic soul arrow, or 60. So not really a good class. If you want to do a magic build, go pick the Thief because you get the master key for free. His stats are on all the right places, which means you can totally do a sorcerer build off of him and go play magic, and then you get the benefit of a better armor set, a better shield, and not eating shit every 5 seconds. Pyromancer is what I recommend for every beginner class. He has a magic spell type, the Fireball, which you normally can't get until you're halfway through the game. Dark Souls is incredibly short, so I mean, it's not a super big deal, but you know, having a Fireball is kind of like having fire bombs in your back pocket that recharge every time you sleep at a bonfire. So, and then the fact that he starts at level 1 is really good for, well, for playing the game. This is the class I recommend that every new player plays. If you don't want to pick Pyromancer, though, I can understand if you want to pick Hunter, if you want to experience a wider variety of the game. Selric has High Faith. I think he comes with like a healing miracle that's redundant. His mace is actually pretty good. His shield is absolutely dog shit. His armor is crap. So, I mean, you're really only picking him for, well, for his mace, and the fact that he's level 2. You know, he doesn't have anything that you couldn't just get by picking, well, Thief, really. Yeah, he has a higher faith overall, but still. So it just doesn't hit. And then lastly, we have what we call the pro player class. So this is what people pick when they've played the game several times and know what they're doing. And they pick this because everything gets a flat 11, and you can kind of just build your character however the hell you feel like. And the only thing you lose is equipment. And that's not a bad thing. If you're going to pick Deprived, though, I would recommend not picking a male. You know, who wants to look at this dude when you're going to look at a hot babe? But we're going to do things on a pretty simple path, okay? And what it is most players are going to play with high strength weapons, so we're going to play with high strength weapons, okay? And so I'm going to go with Deprived. I don't recommend it for first time players. And then I recommend that every first time player picks the Master Key. It's just extremely key for you to pick the Master Key, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because I want to show everybody how to get through everything. And this is going to be, you know, kind of a long series probably, but a lot of people like this stuff. Now, Goddess Blessing is just a healing item. It's kind of useless. Black Fire Bombs, they're good if you want to kill the Asylum Demon early, but doing so gives you a hammer that is absolutely dog shit, so I don't know why you would want that. Twin Humanities is a semi-useful item, but it's not something you're going to be missing at the beginning of the game. Binoculars you get within the first 3 minutes of playing the game. Pendant does absolutely nothing. Miyazaki picks this for his starting item for roleplay reasons. Okay, no actual feasible reason to pick the pendant at all. Master Key is the item I recommend because it allows you to skip Blight Town and like a whole really difficult area that everybody hates. Okay. Tiny Being Ring doesn't really do much. Small increased HP. There's 100 rings that are better than it. And then Old Witch's Ring, that just lets you talk to one NPC and have a conversation with her. That's all that one really does. It doesn't do anything beyond that. So, I mean, the clear winner is obviously the Master Key. Or if you are picking the Thief, maybe the Black Fire Bombs, just because it allows you to kill the Asylum Demon quicker and get, you know, out of there. Or even to just save the Black Fire Bombs for later, because Black Fire Bombs are kind of expensive. And so, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to pick the pendant because fuck me, apparently. Okay. Now, I don't care what people pick as a build. I don't really watch other people play. It's just not my thing. I would rather just play the game myself. I usually pick slim or very slim because I feel like I can see what my character does better when I pick those. Especially if they're wearing armor. I feel like that if I pick one of these two, I can see the hitbox better. That's a personal preference. I don't know if that's true. That's just why I pick slim or very slim. You can pick whatever the fuck you want. And in fact, if you want to make yourself look like Man-Eater Milfred, you can even pick very large. And she does have the booty. But, yeah. And I just pick Astor Royalty for whatever fucking reason. Boop-a-doop. What are the other hairstyles? I never bothered to actually look. They're all terrible. Okay. I just think it'd be weird to not have hair. So, very basic character. Something story that nobody gives a fuck about. Something more disposition. You start off hollow with no weapons. Speaking of weapons, the club that this class starts with is actually pretty damn good. You could get it anyways. It's just nice to start off with it because it is actually pretty decent for what it is. But, I mean, there are better weapons. But, I mean, you can totally go through the whole game with just the club. The club gets really good scaling. So. And, of course, you know, for new players who don't know this, you start out as a hollow. And while you're hollowed, nobody can invade you. And nobody can harass you on your playthrough. So. Completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to go through here first. So you could use the black fire bombs to kill the asylum demon right here, or if you actually manage to kill him with just a knife, you would get the asylum demon hammer. But you could just also run right past him. There's no reason to do that. Okay. The game's going to give you the shield, and the game wants you to equip the shield and hold the shield down while you run towards this dude. You could also just dodge roll, so. The plank shield is usable. Let me show you this here. So an A scaling in strength is actually fucking crazy. The durability is good. Base damage of 87 is okay. Alright, so it is very much a usable weapon. Okay. So you can see the boulder up there. We're just going to dodge roll right out of the way. And now we're going to go in here, talk to this guy, talk to this guy, blah, 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 blah. And he's going to give us an Estus flask and a key, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he's actually a pretty cool dude. He's just misled on a false prophecy. Good old parry. Use the key. And you can camp your shield like a pussy for 90% of the game if you want to. You know, and you can also pretend like you don't, but every player does. Even the people who parry non-stop. Nope. And how you deal with shield guys is while you parry them, unless they do that attack, which can't be parried. Or, you know, you could just die to one of the most basic enemies of all time on camera, on a video that you're going to put on YouTube, so that everybody can know that you're a fucking punk. Whoop. Oh, no, I misjudged it. I rolled over the second one, though. You're dead. Just die. I don't know what it is about the Dark Souls Remastered, by the way, but for whatever fucking reason, like, it's way easier to farm for weapons in this game than it was on the PS3. And you will get to see that later. There we go. You're gonna be stupid, you gotta be tough. If you're not tough, you gotta be smart. Speaking of smart, whenever you do a plunge attack, always do it two-handed so that you can do a little bit more damage. Makes a difference. Sometimes even massively. Whenever you're fighting these type of enemies, just stand behind them. They're pretty easy. Sometimes if you're smacking their booty cheeks, they get, kind of stuck in the loop of slamming the hammer down. Whenever they slam down the other way by flying, just back up. That's it. Those guys are super easy to kill. I mean, it's literally a tutorial boss. And I will show you that with the other two demons, including the one that is directly below the character later. They get like a little magic explosion attack, and that one's actually really easy to deal with too. You just gotta have better gear. Okay. It's gonna tell us about a fucking crow or some shit. I don't know, I don't care. It's gonna tell us that we kindled a bonfire. Now, 11 in every stat is not bad, but it's not great. And the two stats that we're going to need to get up higher are going to be strength and dexterity if we want to actually use stuff. At the very least, we want 14 in both of these. And that's just because a lot of weapons are going to require that. Now, since we're doing a generic strength build, I'm going to put it in strength first, because the reason why we're doing a basic strength build is that's just what new players tend to gravitate towards. They either gravitate towards dexterity or strength before they try other things, which is understandable. It's not a problem. Some people would even argue it's a Chad move, but I really don't care. So, there's a couple paths you can take. One of them is bad, and the other is even worse. But, we're gonna go down all the paths, including the wrong ones, because we're gonna go and grab a bunch of small items. So first we come and talk to this guy, okay, and we talk to him again, and he gets a little more friendly, and there we go. He gave us one free item. It's kind of a useless item though, but free shit is free shit. Grab a little item there. And here's a little secret for you that every new player should know. And actually, my first time playing Dark Souls, where I actually really sat down and played, I actually found this on my own. And I've just been doing it every single time since, because you get weapons like the Morning Star right off the gate. And the Morning Star, it's a little bit worse than the club, but it has bleed. And bleed is really overpowered in this game. If you build up someone's bleed by whacking on them, they're going to take a massive chunk more damage. So bleed is nothing to giggle at. It is definitely a really good thing. And most of the other items are useless, but I mean, they're free, so you might as well grab them. We're going to go down here, and we're going to make sure that we grab a very certain specific item. And somehow we're going to fail to do that, so we're just going to keep powering through. Okay. Oh. Yep. Fucking. Ah, there it is. It's this right here. It's the Cassius round shield. The reason why I would grab it is it's much better than the shield we currently have. The shield we currently have is, well, not great. So, just ignore the skeletons. Don't worry about them. They are extremely deadly, but you're right next to your spawn. It's not a big deal. Let me show you this. Physical 75 and some stats everywhere else, but 85 physical. Okay, this is a small shield. This is also a small shield. This shield's just all around better in every possible way. Better durability, better weight, better everything. There's no reason not to use this shield over the plank shield. Now, you might be wondering why we're coming back here, and the reason is, well, actually pretty simple. There's a couple other items I want to show you that you can grab. So we're going to run past the skeletons again, and we're going to grab the winged spear, firstly. I'm going to grab the Zweihander. Okay. Run over here, and here's binoculars. First, like, 3 minutes of playing the game. Okay. And you just choose to die, and it respawns you back in the area, and you get to keep all those items. Dying in this game is not a big deal. It's actually a eventuality. Okay. Now, a lot of people grab this weapon at the very beginning of the game, and then they just use only this weapon. Now, I'm going to teach you guys how to read the stat sheets, okay? So, under param bonus, we have a red C. So that C is a C in strength scaling. It gets bonus damage when we level up strength. It gets a D in dexterity. It gets bonus damage when you scale dexterity. The C is better than the D, obviously. Okay. There's physical damage, and then there's regular damage. So physical right there is 130. The regular is a minus 105 because we don't meet the stat requirements for strength. Under required parameters with the strength symbol, we don't have 24 strength. Okay. Now, there's more though. When you have a weapon, like this bad boy, for example, okay, and you two-hand it, right now we have 14 strength. Well, if we two-hand it, we have 21 strength, okay? But there's even more than that, okay? This is the thing that most YouTubers forget to teach people, is Under damage reduction, it works just like a shield. So if we block with the Zweihander, we get a damage reduction of 70. Okay, 70% of the damage we should have taken would be blocked. Okay, 10 magic, fire, lightning, stability. Alright, stability is what dictates whether or not you get stunned, if you get flinched. That's all stability is. But what YouTubers will show that on a shield, but they won't teach you that it also applies to weapons. And you can even see on our club here, a damage reduction of 45. So with our shield, 85%, 45%. Okay. It's important to take note of that stat because there are totally builds that don't even use a shield, that just two-hand a weapon and go through the entire game like it's no problem. So this is the correct area to go, by the way, if you're beginning the game. It looks like we already got an armor set. Lucky us. It would have never happened on the PS3, by the way. Piece of armor, and armor comes with poise. And so here's the difference between stability and poise. Stability only applies while you're blocking. Poise applies all the time. Okay. And then the higher your poise, the less likely you are to be flinched. And then, of course, you got your typical damage profiles of damage resistance. Those are not percentage numbers. So 24 physical defense, for example, not a damage number. It's a damage reduction, but it's not a percentage of reduction. Okay, come on. So, yeah, you'll notice I was kind of struggling to find the angle there. And that's just because we're in this fucking hallway here. And the club does not do well in hallways. Some weapons just don't do well in crowded areas. And that will actually become a problem later. Not right now, but it will be a problem eventually. So you can see right there that I got flinched. And it was just, again, because of my low poise and low stability. 4D stability is not high, and even if you had 40 poise, that would also not be very high. So, when you equip better armor, you of course get more poise. Another little secret area for you guys. And as you can see, I'm hitting the wall there. It's that purple fog right now. I'm sure you guys noticed means I'm poisoned. Being poisoned, really not that big of a deal. Not even like a minor problem. It's just whatever. Okay. So. And these guys are going to ambush us and attack us. We're just going to ignore them because we can just go right up this ladder here. You can run past most enemies in the entire game. They're really not an issue. So. Another piece of humanity. This game is really easy, by the way. It's not super ultra difficult as long as you're not stupid. You know, and then the only other part is if you just accept the fact that you're gonna die sometimes, it's not that big of a deal. Dragon. Okay. And dealing with all these hollows is kind of like walking around Stockton, California, and the crackheads try to attack you with their broken sword and shield. There is another shield in here, by the way, the wooden shield, which I actually think might even be better physical damage than the other one, with a 93. Still not really a great shield. Normally, if I had the master key, I would go around the back way and get the Dragon Crest shield and use that because it has 100 damage. Physical damage is the key right now because there's not a lot of enemies that can even do magic damage, so there's really not a lot of enemies that could harm you that particular way. And then, you know, I'm sure you guys have noticed the random people wandering around, the little blue streaks. That's actually other players who are essentially in a alternate reality parallel to your own. Or, in other words, it's just people who are online also playing the game at the same time as you. So, yeah. And we're going to get into these guys, who the best way to deal with these guys is to just parry them. In fact, it's kind of the only way to deal with them. Unless you have fireballs. Boop. And there we go, just like that. You can't parry an enemy who's not attacking you. You have to wait for him to attack you, which can be annoying. And I missed timing parries, so there we go. So this guy right here, normally I would kill him because when you kill him, he drops the Uki Naga, which is a katana that's actually pretty decent. But he is the first merchant that you can encounter in the game. Well, one of the first. There is another guy. This increases your chance of being invaded, blah, 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 blah. To be invaded, you have to be human. Repair powder, throwing knives, all that crap. Shields, another garbage. And then here's the club. Okay, it's the same weapon we have. He sells it. He only charges 150 souls for it. Okay. And then here's the reinforced club. It has very similar stats to the Morningstar. It's slightly better than the Morningstar, just in base damage. Again, 300 bleed. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this guy up. And, you know, it does have worse scaling, but again, who cares? Arrows and armor. So, standard stuff. So right here, boom, and just to show you. Okay. Now, another thing is shield types. So this is regular shield, small shield, small shield. Small shields get a bonus grace period for parrying things. It's just a little bit easier to parry when you have a small shield than it is if you have a large shield. Now, I have what's called hard humanity, which is when you have humanity in item form. Come on, stop moving. There it is. Get a good old backstab there. I could activate humanity, okay, to give myself soft humanity of 1, and then go over to the fire and reverse hollowing, which would make me human. And I'm even going to show that, but I recommend you don't do it in the beginning level 1 areas, because people are going to come in and they're going to attack you. And I'm going to do 2 humanity, so you reverse hollowing. That's the first thing you do. As I said, it makes you human. That turns on PvP, okay? And then kindling the bonfire just allows you to get more Estus from the fire. So now I have 10 Estus again. Simple stuff. Okay, come on now. Yeah, a summon sign. Look at that. 2 summon signs. Those are for players to help you, but I sincerely doubt that's what they're trying to do. Yeah. I really doubt they're trying to actually help people. You can also just play the game in offline mode if you don't want to deal with invaders. The only invaders that you'll get at that point are scripted NPCs who actually very much act like real people. It's pretty fucking cool. The really popular one that people love to fight is Kirk, because Kirk has absolutely demolished people, and he also drops some really cool stuff. So you can only fight Kirk 3 times, but doing so will give you basically his whole set. Okay, short the sword. Some black fire bombs. I should probably put a shield. We're about to fight the second boss of the game here pretty soon. Why would you lock onto them? Well, you should lock on the one throwing bombs at me. Sometimes the lock-on's unreliable. In fact, a lot of people recommend you play without the lock-on. The fact that I play with the lock-on actually makes me the fucking weirdo. But, oh, look at that. We got a set of legs. Where is it? There it is. Which only adds a 1.5 weight, which is not a lot. I will explain the weight here. So, to move at your maximum run speed, but have one of the worst dodges, you need to be under 25% of your carry capacity. Okay? To medium roll, you need to be under 50%. To fat roll, you need to be over 50%. Okay? And to be absolutely over encumbered, you need to be at or above your maximum carry load. It's recommended that you keep yourself on medium roll at basically all times. And that's how that works. Like, so right now I'm at a weight of 5.5, which is under 25%, which means I can move as fast as possible. My carry capacity is 52, my equip load. Okay. So here's this knight down here. I usually leave him the fuck alone. I come back later when I have better stats and kill him. There's this booby trap here. You just go down here. Okay, that's all you have to do for that one. And then you don't want to jump down there. It's just better to run back right quick. If you had the master key, you could actually go fight Havel, or you could buy the resonance key and go down there and fight Havel and get the Havel ring. Now, right now, you'll notice that there's a 1 in the top left corner there. That's called soft humanity. Sometimes you get it randomly. If you die, you drop it along with the souls that you drop. And you have to go through, you know, the process of getting it back. So first, you want to always come up here. And the reason being is because those two archers are fucking assholes. So. And we're going to fight the first, well, second boss of this game, which is arguably not a real boss. But first thing you want to do, come back up here and climb the ladder. Be careful about going up the ladder, because if you're not far enough up it, you can actually hit you. But you just come down here, do a plunge attack, and you can actually do that over and over again. And that's how most people fight the TARDIS demon. The fucking Minotaur. I just use all my bombs. So. But for the sake of showing you how most people do this boss fight, I'm gonna actually get past him here. Running as fast as I can so we can go climb the ladder again. There is a way to glitch him and get him to jump off the fucking side. Oh, he actually hit me too. And getting him to jump off the side will instantly kill him. It's actually kind of funny. You don't want to linger up there too long, because if you do, he will actually jump up there and fight you. There are people, though, that intentionally linger up there to fight him in what some people consider to be a safer arena. You just really dodge them. So, a really easy boss, arguably not a real boss. And I say arguably not a real boss because he's later in the game just a basic normal enemy. And then here's Sunbro. Everybody loves Sunbro. Good old Solaire. Okay. And then All I have to do is talk to him again. Say yes. Talk to him again. Say yes. He gives you an item, the white sign of something, whatever the fuck, soapstone. Okay. Yep. And the reason why he gives this to you is so that you can help other players. So, if I take this stone and accidentally drink an Estus flask, I'm an idiot. But if I take this stone and I put it down, people can summon me. If they find this sign, they can summon me, and it brings me to their world, and I can help them. I can also remove it. Okay? That's all that is. Now, there's a dragon right above here. We're going to run to about here, and we're going to run back into this little hole. And we're going to wait. We'll go down this area later. We can't go down it right now. We're going to run as fast as we can, because we don't want the dragon to breathe fire on us. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. We're going to kick this ladder, and look at that. There's that bonfire from earlier. Okay. Now, if we sleep at the bonfire, and then we go up and bug the dragon, all the enemies he had just killed, that we had gotten souls for him killing, will actually respawn. Let's see, make sure I have that much strength, yeah. And you could say that is the first ever farm in the Dark Souls game. We couldn't get up there because of those stairs, but we just come to this little ladder that we put on the ground and climb it. And I also raised my endurance, which raises my equip load, so I can equip more shit. So, not my preferred outfit, whatever. But check this out. So, come up here, go back down there. He breathes a bunch of fire, kills a bunch of enemies. Okay, and we can even roll over here. Now, over there, there's two items. There's a group of souls right there, that white one, and then that white dot there is the claymore. My first ever playthrough, I ran up, grabbed the claymore, which resulted in me dying. It took several tries. But I used the claymore for the entirety of the playthrough. Now, he's jumped down. We can actually get around him if we're careful. Oh, look at that. I got it really fast backwards. It's important, actually, to not block when you get there. As goofy as that sounds. So, make sure you rest at the bonfire as quickly as fucking humanly possible. And doing so will respawn the dragon right up at the top there. So, yeah. Oh, okay. That's new. There's that little backstep there. Take that claymore. Okay, come on. Now, one of the interesting things about what we call soft humanity is when you have it up to a certain amount, you get increased item discovery. So right now it's at 1, so instead of having 100 item discovery, I have 150 item discovery. I believe it maxes out at 200 when you have 10 humanity active. So, I don't, what is this? Praise the sun? People are fucking stupid. Yeah, and some enemies don't really attack you. They just sit there. You can kill them for souls. I don't know why you would. But we're going to go down here because I'm going to show you how you normally would get past the dragon. You normally get past the dragon by going underneath this bridge here. There's going to be this guy here. Just give him a good old backstab. Oh, look at that, a longsword. We have another spear guy, and you have to parry him. If you have magic, you could also hit him that way. There's going to be 3 rats. There's the one that you see. There's 2 other ones, though. And the 2 other ones can be a problem. The easiest way to deal with them is to wait in the hallway. But usually I'm an impatient dick, and so I usually run through and get poisoned, which can be a little annoying. And once we go up this ladder, we will be at the area we were just at. So, there's another knight up there, but there's the area that we need to progress, and here's the bonfire. When we flicked this switch here, this opened that gate up there, which allowed us to just come through here. So. And there's a piece of armor that I actually prefer. Right there. A piece of it, anyways. We just come here because it's going to aggro 2 enemies that are going to slowly walk towards us. Because we don't want to fight these enemies while fighting the boar. Slow and simple. Okay. We got Bomb Rusher here. Come on. No, you're not going to drag me to the boar. Stop being a little bitch. There we go. Oh, I think I got a helmet too. Yeah, I did. So the boar you just deal with by coming here, going near the fire here. And sometimes he completely ignores the fire. Which, it happens. But basically you want him to run into the fire so that hopefully when he does, he'll take fire damage. And he just like lost like a quarter of his health right there. But you can also come up here and deal with the archers first, who are super fucking annoying. Fucking guy. Come on. This fucking faggot. Come on, Weinstein. And then whenever you're in the back stab animation or a parry, like nobody can fucking harm you while you're in it. They can harm you after it though. So be mindful. The alluring skull was put there so that we could apparently lead the boar into the fire a little bit easier, but in fact, I've never actually tried doing that. So, I don't think other people ever do either. Oh, that's actually pretty easy there. Interesting. Let's do that again. And he's barbecued, just like that. Okay. Well, I guess I'll be doing that from now on then. I normally don't even bother with that, but... Those guys normally don't come all the way down the stairs to fight you. Normally they try to ambush you right here. So that was a little weird. I've never had that happen before. What the fuck? Again, never had that happen before. Normally they wait around. I think it's because I used the alluring skulls, maybe? Weird. But there's usually like a whole different experience with that. It actually kind of threw me off a little bit. The mystery key to go let Lautrec out of his prison cell. The prison cell that he very much belongs in. Because if you let him out, he will kill your firekeeper. Another soul. Just aim the helmet where you want to go. And boom. So another thing is if you lock on, you can only spin one of 4 directions. But if you don't lock on, you can spin a full 360, which is the main reason why most people don't use the lock-on system. Another summon sign. Yeah, okay. Anyways. This guy's actually really easy to parry. But only if he does the thrust attack, which he is right now refusing to do. No, you don't. We're not doing that. And then if you come over here, there's a shield that's slightly better than the wood shield, but it's not one of the good shields of the game. And the reason being is, yeah, it does 100 damage, but it also weighs 5.5, so that's kind of a lot of weight for what it is. There's a lot of shields that weigh less and do more. There's that. Yeah, I'm starting to fat roll now. So we just come down here. Which gets this guy's attention. Can't parry that. Can't parry that either. Fucking so annoying. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna... God damn it. He's just like refusing to do any attack that now he's gonna do one that I can parry. Now that I'm like in the process of healing. It's super annoying. No. Nope. Another attack that I can't parry. Alright. And then give us more upgrade material though. What? That was really fucking questionable. Dude, seriously? Sometimes if they're on the stairs, you can't correctly parry them like you normally would be able to, which is fucking annoying. Because this guy is just doing nothing but sitting on the fucking stairs. So. Like, you could parry his spear, but you wouldn't be able to repost. And reposting is the whole point of parrying. Now, this next part, really simple area. You don't want to go the other way, you want to go this way. Okay. Kill the archer first, makes life way easier. Then you want to go down here, because the blacksmith is down here. A real simple reason why. Now, for new players, I recommend whatever weapon you do want to use that you feel comfortable using. I recommend, for my first time beating the gargoyles, you'll notice that's plural, and that is a spoiler. I used the claymore and I upgraded it to +5. Okay. You don't have to do that, but it makes things easier, because if you kill the gargoyles faster, you have to deal with the gargoyles less. They're not that hard, though. And I'm also going to level Faith, and that's because I'm going to be using a specific weapon later. But if we come down here, we can talk to everybody's favorite blacksmith. And also repair all of our equipment, so. And in the next episode of this, we'll get into the whole process of beating the gargoyles, but I wanted to get us a good introduction here. And so, here it is. This is the end of the video for now. Boop-a-doop. The next video will be coming shortly. Because I have to pee. That's, like, actually the main fucking reason. Okay. Can we, like, maybe, I don't know, like, not do this whole thing of not letting me into my own fucking menu? I understand. God damn it. I, like, actually have to pee here. Fucking. See, they need to exit from the menu. Okay, great. Yeah, there we go. Fuck.